So guys, tune into the show. Don't miss it, because it's going to be an amazing show. You are going to be touched. You're going to be amazed. You're going to be excited. It's Thursday, 11 o'clock on a Thursday. The Message Talk Show with Alex Gordon. Yes, don't miss it. So guys, tune into the show. Don't miss it, because it's going to be an amazing show. You are going to be touched. You're going to be amazed. You're going to be excited. It's Thursday, 11 o'clock on a Thursday. The Message Talk Show with Alex Gordon. Yes, don't miss it.
Good morning, folks. Good morning. It's that day again, Thursday morning with the Message Talk Show with your host, Alex Gordon. Man, we have such a special guest today. It's amazing when things come together so well. Can you imagine this? We planned a session on happiness, the interplay of happiness in well-being. Can you increase your happiness with Rona Anderson? And guess what England does last night? What did England do last night, Rona?
They won the semi-finals. Absolutely awesome. You know what, Alex? I didn't plan. When we actually scheduled today, I did not plan to be staying up all night celebrating that England actually won the semi-finals. But you know what, Alex? I think we live in the same area, don't we? Yes. I think we do live in the same area in East London.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, when I went to bed, I could hear literally horns beeping away, literally constantly beeping, people cheering. I'm thinking, is that Alex? Was Alex out?
Is that Alex outside?
Beeping the horns, really celebrating. Was that you, Alex?
No, that was not me, Rona. That was not me outside of your house, Rona. Beeping and cheering for the British, for the England winning the game last night. So, hey, folks, we're having a tremendous show packed today. We have Rona Anderson in-house. Guys, call your friends. Get a cup of coffee. Call your enemies. Call everybody you know, and tune into the Message Talk Show. Come on, guys. It's time to tune in, because this is going to be a tremendous show. We have so much packed into the 45 minutes that we'll be speaking for. But let me just throw something at you, because we have a tremendous guest in-house. So the messagetalkshow.com, go and register, go and sign up, guys. And today we'll be having a phone in today, a phone in for you today. You can call us and tell us how you feel about happiness. And this is what Rona says. It's what you have, or what you are, or when, or where you are, or what you are doing that makes you happy or unhappy. It is what you think about all the time. Dale Carnegie. Rona, what are you thinking about?
You know what? When I look at that quote, you know, happiness is all about. It's about you. It's about what's inside of you. It's about what's in your mind. It really, really is. And so, what am I thinking about? I am thinking about having a wonderful time with all of the audience today on the Message Talk Show. And I'm just absolutely delighted, really, really delighted that Alex, that you've, brought me on, that you've asked me to come on today. So I just want to thank you so much. I've been watching some of the previous episodes, and oh my goodness, they have been absolutely tremendous, absolutely amazing. So Alex, I just want to thank you for all that you do, for all of the amazing speakers that you have had on this program. So, and I'm delighted that I feel so honored that you've invited me to speak. So that's what's going through my head right now.
Wow. Right. So let's just go back a bit. Let's just go back a bit and remind ourselves of what took place in the last 24 hours. Can you imagine how people are feeling across the country right now? Let's just remind ourselves here. Let me just remind ourselves here. Let me just remind ourselves what took place in the last 24 hours across the United Kingdom. When I saw screens last night, I was just, my mouth was open. My mouth was open, and I was going, my God, my mouth was open. I was thinking, wow, is this really happening? You could see the screams, you could see people cheering, you could see the joy on their faces just for a football match. I'm thinking, it's just a football match, guys. It's just a football match, guys.
No, but Alex,
I need you to understand this. It's happened last night. It happened. So check this out, and we'll just have a little chat about this. All right. Every time that Sterling touched the ball, I was shaking. I was shaking every time he touched the ball. I was shaking. I was thinking, is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Is he going to do it? Is he going to score the goal? Every time. Every time. I was just so nervous. I was just so nervous. I was so nervous. I was so nervous. But it was ecstatic. That goal that went in, that Sterling scored. Well, it was an own goal, wasn't it? It was an own goal. It was an own goal. And then the penalty. Now, people were complaining about the penalty. Denmark was complaining about the penalty. But do you remember the hand of God? Do you remember the hand of God many years ago? Many years ago, the hand of God. Yes, the hand of God. And we lost. The hand of God. Well, we're going to be talking about this penalty for years to come. So today we're talking about happiness. We're talking about the interplay of happiness. Can you increase your level of happiness? And knowing what we know now, what would you say happiness is, Rona?
You know what? Happiness, there's two types of happiness. And people think that happiness is just that, instantaneous, you're happy and you're smiling. But however, there's another, and that's called hedonistic happiness. And there's something which is called the hedonistic wheel. And it's when you're constantly chasing something to be happy. We think that, oh gosh, we'll get this amazing, beautiful car and that will make us happy. And then we get the car and, it's fine for, a few days, but we start littering it. We have a little bump on it. We need something else to make us happy. And it goes on and on and on. Sometimes we think that we can be happy by, having that job. And we get that job and we love that job. But then what happens in the job while you're doing it? Or that business? It's because we're constantly chasing happiness. We're constantly chasing something to reward us. And that's great. That's wonderful because we do need goals. But also it's temporary. Like the match last night was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely wonderful. And I was watching it from a point of, happiness because I am a happiness consultant. And I looked at that and I thought, okay.
Let me stop you there, Rona. I jumped ahead of things, Rona. Rona, who are you, Rona? Who do you serve, Rona? And what got you here, Rona? Just as you made that point.
Okay, so who am I? I am Rona Anderson. I am a happiness consultant. Actually, I wear several hats. I wear the hat of a happiness consultant. I also wear the hat within my church, which is led by Bishop Wayne Malcolm. I'm a director of global missions there. I also wear the hat within a charity as a partnerships manager, and it's a charity called Compassion. And I do several things, but I think today we're here to talk about me being a happiness consultant and happiness coach. Who do I serve? It depends how you're asking that. I mean, the main person I serve is the Lord God Almighty. But I also serve...
Who do you serve on earth? Who are the clients you work with on earth, apart from the Lord God Almighty?
I know, I'm getting there. So here, I actually serve anybody who would like to increase their happiness level. I serve individuals and also organizations. So I consult with organizations to try and improve the happiness level of their employees. And there are various different ways of doing that, but I'll build a relationship with the organization in the same way that I would build a relationship with an individual to identify what's in them, because happiness is something that's already inside of you. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, I'm a coach through consultant, and in that I get to find out what's inside of you. What's there? What are you holding back on? What can be released from you? So I serve people who do actually want to increase their happiness level. What got me here? Wow, what got me here? How long have we got?
No, just 2 minutes of that, Rona. Don't spend the whole day telling us, Rona. I don't want the life history today, Rona. Just 2 minutes of it.
Okay, so numerous things got me here, but I would say I'll just pull out two of them. So I may not be able to have it as concise as 2 minutes, but the first one. So I'm not quite sure if you're aware that I do. My heart is to end extreme poverty. That's one of my missions, and as such, I go out into I have been out to the developing world, and I've visited many countries in Africa, and I've got to meet many different people who are in extreme poverty. One of my trips was to Tanzania, and I met a group of they were a self-help group. And they had been shunned by their community. They had been shunned by their families because they were suffering from HIV/AIDS. And so they only had each other. And when I met them, I said, well, you're showing, traits of happiness, because even though they had next to nothing, I say next to nothing because each one of us has something, we always have something. But even though they were living on less than $1.90 per day, they were living in extreme poverty. And so I asked them, I said, well, what is this? Why are you also, happy? And they said, it's not their circumstances, they are happy. Because they are grateful. They are grateful because they have each other. They are grateful because they are alive. They are grateful because, they can share things with each other. And I looked at that and I thought, my goodness, normally, as I said earlier on, we think happiness is success, but it's not. Happiness it's inside of you. Another thing, if it's okay for me to say my second point, okay, I'll say it anyway.
I'm not stopping you.
Okay, so we've been in lockdown now for 16 months. I've just had a birthday in June. Last year, June, we were still in lockdown, and I just thought I'm going to enjoy myself. We're in lockdown. I'm by myself here, but I'm going to enjoy myself. So I took a video of myself singing myself happy birthday, laughing and smiling and joking. I posted that. I sent that to my colleagues, and I sent that out on social media. And people came back to me and they said, "My goodness, Rona, you cheered me up. The fact that you did that cheered me up." And I thought, well, I did it for selfish reasons. I did it for myself. And they said, no, you did it for us. You cheered me up. And I thought, okay. And then a friend of mine identified, and she recommended that I pursue the goal of, I pursue the career of being a happiness coach, because it's something that's already inside of me. And I just want to share what I've got.
Wow.
I want to share my learnings with other people.
So what is happiness, Rona? Tell me what happiness is.
Happiness is, as I said, there's two parts of happiness. There's a hedonistic, which is where you just think that happiness is an experience. And there's something that is called eudaimonic. And eudaimonic is bringing that happiness that's inside of you. It's that life, it's living that, some people call it joy. It's living that joy and that content life, no matter what. I believe that you can be happy and you can increase your happiness level no matter what. It's not about your circumstances. It's about you. It's about what is actually inside of you, working with what's inside of you and increasing it so it's lasting happiness, not just temporary.
Wow. So are you saying that even when I'm sad, I've got happiness inside of me? Even when I'm sad?
The thing is, we've got emotions, we have, and we've gone through what we've gone through 16 months of lockdown. We've gone through 16 months of, there's been people who have been bereaved, they've struggled, mental health, people have had mental health issues. It's been a horrendous 16 months. We've never experienced anything like this before, never. But that's temporary. It is, you've got to realise that there are certain things that we go through, and you just got to categorise it and say, okay, you might be feeling sad right now, but it's just right now in that moment. Go through that sad period, go through that sad episode, experience it, because there's no point in hiding it. There's no point in trying to, hide behind anything. If you've got emotions, if you've got feelings, let them out. Literally, that's what I say to anybody who's going through whatever they're going through. Let out your emotions. You've got them for a reason. But be aware that they are temporary. What's actually inside of you, the happiness that's inside of you, is long-lasting.
You said let the emotions out. So how do you release it? I mean,
Oh.
Eski's saying, I'm so excited about watching this. Is she releasing her emotions?
She is. She's releasing her emotions, and that is great.
Wow.
You know what? There's something that we all have, and it's called a happiness set point. And let me just go back a little bit. We've all been given a certain amount of. Am I okay? Can I carry on, Alex?
Yes, far away. I'm listening. I am listening.
Okay.
7 million people are listening to you today. 7 million people are listening. So go ahead.
So more people are listening to me than watched the football yesterday. No, but anyway, if you take a pie chart and equate that to happiness, and this has been scientifically proven by positive psychologists. So if you take a pie chart and you look at that, 10% of our happiness comes from our circumstances. But what do we focus on? We focus on trying to change our circumstances. We put so much effort into our circumstances, but that only equates to just 10% of our happiness. There's 50% of our happiness comes from our genes. So how you've been made up. So your parents, your forefathers. How what they've actually gone through. That's 50%. But then a huge 40% comes from your behaviours, and that is amazing because you can actually change your behaviours. There are certain there are certain scientists who believe that also that 50% of your genes that's in your happiness level that you can also change through your behaviours. But let's just go with that 40%. My goodness, what could you do to improve your happiness level? So many things that you can do, and that's what I help people with. You know what? We have 60,000, on average, 60,000 thoughts each day. But did you realise that out of those 60,000 thoughts, 80% of the thoughts that you have are negative? And that's on average. And of that, 95% of the thoughts that you have each day are repeated the following day. So whatever thoughts you've got, 80% are negative. So I love maths, absolutely love maths. So this is just a basic equation. So if approximately 60% of your thoughts are if you have approximately 60,000 thoughts per day, okay? Yeah. 60,000 thoughts per day. If 80% of those are negative. That's 48,000. What would happen if you just changed 10%? You would gain an extra 6,000 positive thoughts. That's how I like to look at it.
So you're saying convert some of the negative thoughts into positive ones.
You know what? It's on a daily basis. What I'm saying is have more positive thoughts.
Right. Okay. More positive thoughts.
More positive thoughts.
Okay.
I'm not saying to convert, because as you look at our brain, there's so much activity that happens in our brain. Okay. And thoughts are going round and round and round in our head. And the thoughts that we have, they are wired in our brains, and they go backwards and forwards at a fast rate. They go backwards and forwards, and they leave imprints in our mind. And they're like scars. I don't know if you can see, but I don't know. I've got a scar there on my elbow. I fell off my bike 2 years ago.
Sorry. What happened there? Sorry, what happened?
I was trying to cycle, and I was learning how to cycle, and I was getting quite confident. I was thinking, yeah, I'm doing good. And I was cycling along a canal path, and there was a bollard, and it was covered by leaves, and the wheel banged into the bollard, and I went over the handlebars.
Hey, Rona, in Jamaican terms, we would say, you kin pupa lick.
Definitely.
Go on.
But just going back to the mind, so we actually have, we've got thoughts that have left imprints in our minds, and they're there. Whether or not our mind, it's so powerful. It's more powerful than any computer. What Bill Gates does, nothing, nothing compared to our mind. It's amazing. It is awesome. And God created it. He is awesome. But however, we've left imprints in our mind, and they're there. Nothing you can do about it. They are there. But what I'm saying is create new ones. Create new positive thoughts in your mind. The thing is, I won't get rid of this scar. I won't. I won't get rid of the thoughts that have gone before in my mind. You won't get rid of them. They're there. Unfortunately, they are there. But create new ones.
How do you create more positive thoughts, though? How do you create more positive thoughts? How do you add additional thoughts that are positive? How do you deliberately do that? Imagine that, you said we have 60,000 thoughts and 80% are negative. How do I add more positive ones?
Oh gosh. So to add more positive thoughts, so there's there's a lot of things.
Apart from watching the England match, all right? Apart from watching the England match, okay?
Well, that's just temporary. So, and I'll go back to that, because, as I said, there was, when I was watching that match, I was thinking, I could see what was taking place. I could see why we get so euphoric when we watch England. I could see why that actually, I'll talk about it now, if that's okay, because it's on the agenda. It really, really is. So the reason why we really, our happiness level increased when we watched that match. Our well-being increased when we watched that match, because there are 4 brain chemicals, happiness brain chemicals that we have. And it's there's an acronym called DOSE. And the brain chemicals are dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. So let me just tell you what was taking place when we were all watching that match. So you've got dopamine, and that's a reward chemical. And we were receiving rewards each time, each goal that was scored, that's a reward. Each time we think about, we had our end goal. Our end goal is to win the final. Yesterday's end goal was to win the semi-final. But because we had a goal, dopamine was being released in our brains. Oxytocin. Did you see people relating to other people, whether or not you were there physically, in the crowds, hugging each other, doing all of that? Oxytocin, it's called the I call it the sort of the love chemical. It is,
Okay.
It's wonderful. It's relationship. It's all about relationship. But even if you were not physically there with somebody else watching that match at the same time, we felt connected because we knew that so many other people were watching the match, and we could see other people. We could see the crowd cheering on.
Electricity. It was like electricity flowing through
It
the crowd.
was electric. Yeah. Absolutely. There was a buzz. You could hear the crowd. Honestly, the commentators, everything. It was wonderful. I was sat on the edge of my seat watching it. But also,
that buzz worried me though. It worried me because I'm thinking 60,000 people inside the Wembley. What about COVID? Huh?
Yeah, I'm concerned. I have my concerns. That was why I did not buy a ticket for the match. That was why I watched it from the beauty of my home on the TV. but let me go on to just tell you what else was happening. So serotonin was being released. Serotonin was being released because we were celebrating others. We were looking at others and we were congratulating them. And that's what serotonin does. When we pay other people compliments, serotonin is released.
Wow.
And endorphins. You know what? We think that endorphins are only released when we're really energetic, when we're, doing, really hard, intense physical exercise. But for those people who were watching that match, endorphins were being released. Endorphins were released when we were cheering, because you know what? Endorphins, it's something which they're released when we go through pain. And if you think of when you're cheering, I'm raising my fists up now, and I can feel my stomach muscles just tightening a little bit.
That was screaming. That wasn't cheering. That was screaming. That was screaming the place down.
The thing is, Alex, I don't think you quite like me to start screaming on your program right now, so I'm not going to. Well, however, the thing is, when the crowd was screaming, their stomach muscles were being tensed.
Yeah.
And that was enough pain to release endorphins.
Wow.
So that's what I mean. So the 4 happy chemicals were being released just by watching that game. And that's awesome. Today, people will still be celebrating today. And yeah, happiness, happiness of the country.
So the game was a therapy session in itself. That was a complete therapy session.
Yeah, it can be. Literally, it can be. Yeah,
wow.
Absolutely wonderful game. And I'm looking forward to Sunday. I'm hoping that England win.
Wow. So how do you explain? Because there were some people who were ecstatic with joy, screaming, but there were other people who were just sitting there, sitting very quiet in the moment, not making any noise. Were they experiencing the same kind of endorphin release, or serotonin release? Were they experiencing it as well?
Serotonin.
Serotonin.
The thing is, we all experience things in a different way. We all show our emotions in a different way. That's why a lot of people, when they go to the football matches, say yes like this. And you do have some people who will just sit back. They will refrain from externally showing emotions, and that's fine. But what's going on inside of them, they know what's going on inside of them. And that's what we need. We need to get to a point when we get to know ourselves, when we get to know the authentic person, what's going on inside of you.
Wow.
Really, because the thing is, only you know what goes on inside of you. So I I would like to believe that they were going through the same chemicals were being released inside of them, but only they will know because they did not show it externally.
Right. Okay. But it was still happening. It was still happening.
Yes. Oh, yes.
They couldn't just ignore what was happening around them. They had to have felt it. They have to have sensed it in their spirits as well.
Nobody could have ignored what was happening. Nobody, not at all. Nobody.
Wow.
But you know what? It's great that we are all different. And the thing is, happiness, what makes me happy, how I feel happiness is completely different to your happiness, Alex. It's completely different because we are all individuals, and that's wonderful. We were all individuals. There are different things that make me happy. You know, I get happy when I say to some people that running, I get a real buzz. I'm really happy. I'm in my element when I go for a run. They'll look at me and think, well, that's physical activity. That's stress. You know, I don't want to do that. Or if I'm in the gym, you know what? When was it? 8 years ago, I ran a half marathon. And when I started training for that half marathon, my fitness level was at its all-time lowest. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, how do I go from 0 to being able to run 13.2 miles? And I had 5 months to go from 0 to do it. You know what I did? I took week by week by week. So you can look at that and you can think, well, okay, I had that reward. The reward for me was a goal. My goal was to complete a half marathon in 5 months. I broke it down. The first month I could run, I think I was running 3 miles. The next month, so each week I was increasing my mileage, and I would celebrate each extra mile that I ran when I was in my training mode, I was celebrating. And that's what it is. If you have a big goal, break it down.
So did you do
break it down and celebrate every single achievement. And that helps with your happiness level.
Was this on your own? How did you train? Was someone else?
I trained on my own.
You trained on your own.
You know what? The only person to help me, and I know you don't want me to get all spiritual, was the Lord. Literally, I mean, we live in a similar area, and it's hilly. It's quite hilly where we live, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was running up and down those hills, and hill running is hard. Hill running is seriously hard, and that's how I did my training. Just getting up early hours of the morning and doing those hills. But I did it. It was a gradual process.
Wow.
And that's what I mean. So if you have a goal, no matter what the size of your goal is, for you to experience more of the dopamine, which is a happiness chemical, break your goal down. You literally break it down into small chunks and celebrate. Literally celebrate after each achievement.
We've got a comment here from Niroka. Niroka says, therapeutic sessions happens anywhere and any given time. Inside of us is where the amazing mix happens.
Oh,
wow.
Definitely. Wow. Definitely, Niroka. Definitely.
It happens anytime.
It's inside. It is. It's really, really inside of us.
And she's come back and said, celebrating each achievement, no matter how small, increases happiness levels.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it really, really is. You know, no matter. The thing is, I love to celebrate. I'm one of those people who I will celebrate for any reason whatsoever. I woke up in the morning, I'm celebrating.
Well, before you celebrate any further, we need to go to our sponsor. Just hang on for a second while you hold that one piece about celebrating.
You are listening to the Message Talk Show and Podcast. Do you believe you have something to share? Do you believe you have something to contribute? Do you have a story to tell the world, to share with your community? Gandhi said, man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. So join us on the Message Talk Show and Podcast with host Alex Gordon.
Now we've got some questions coming through, Rona. Some questions, yes? On the interplay of happiness in well-being, we've got some questions. So let me just feed them through the questions that are being asked. Right. So the first question is, what triggers your happy state of being?
Okay, so what triggers my happy state of being? So I have 7 points. And for me, the mixture of these 7 points is amazing. So, and it's what I call G growth. And the first one is gratitude. Now, having gratitude, being great, and all of these, you don't need to be, it's not to do with your circumstances. It's not to do with your finances. It's not to do with any of that. It's to do with you as a person. Now, gratitude really does increase your happiness level. When you are truly grateful for something, when you can show gratitude to somebody, gratitude, it is the best attitude. I've actually produced a gratitude journal, which is going to be published. I can't wait for it to be published. So excited about this. And what I recommend to people is that you think of 3 things to be grateful for. Just 3. You know, sometimes people say, oh yeah, I'm going to write a long list of 10 things to be grateful for. No, I'm saying just 3. Because if you write down 3 things that you are grateful for on a daily basis, the following day you can think of 3 additional things, and the day after 3 additional things. And then, as I said, I love maths. In 90 days, you've got 270 things that you are grateful for that are positive, and that can trigger your happy state. There's something else which is generosity. When you give out of your heart, that again triggers a happy state of being. I sponsor 3. Sorry, there's me saying I like maths, and I'm putting up 4 fingers. No, I sponsor 3 children. I sponsor 3 children through an organisation called Compassion. And my children are I've got one in Ethiopia, another one in Dominican Republic, another one in Burkina Faso. And I write to those children, and I'm thinking that I'm doing this because it's something that I want to do, but obviously there is a fee to sponsoring the children. But they write back to me and they say, Rona,
Wow.
I love you. They say, Rona, I want
Wow.
the best for you. They say, Rona,
Wow.
what can I do to help you? And I'm thinking, oh my goodness,
Wow.
I'm just doing this, for something that I want to do. And yes, it is being generous, but I receive back. And I didn't expect to receive that back. But whenever you are generous with something, you receive back something else in a different way. And that triggers my happy state of being.
Wow.
Helping other people, it really does.
So you gave us 2 of the 7. What's the next one?
Okay, so relationships.
Relationships, okay.
When you build relationship, you know what, we've the past, I'll talk, I'm keeping this real. The past 16 months has been very, very, very difficult for everybody in the entire world. Very difficult because we've been in isolation. And people's mental health has been affected because of the isolation. But the thing is, still try and build those relationships. As I said, watching that football match yesterday, we were relational with each other, even though we weren't all in the same place. But the best relationship is face-to-face, it is one-to-one. That's where you get the best relationships. But in the absence of that, find other ways of building and maintaining relationships. Pick up the phone and speak to somebody. Through my church, we set up a befriending organisation. And that was where we were befriending those people who were in isolation. We were speaking to them on the phone.
Wow.
We were actually encouraging them. And that, again, it's a service to other people, building those relationships. But it also
has come back and commented on your
happiness.
gratitude. Niroke has commented on your gratitude. She said, gratitude in many cases works when we remember it's necessarily what's happening now, but what happened before that can help us to change our state of mind. This increases happiness. Man, you've got an assistance here.
Thank you so much, Niruka. But you know, the thing is, with going back to gratitude, is we can be grateful for the moment, but when you write down what you're grateful for, it will stay in your mind longer. And also, if you've got, you know, a bit of a fuzzy mind and, you know, your memory's not that brilliant, when you've written it down, you can go back to it and you can think, you know, if you're having a low period, which I said, you know, we have those low times in our lives. When you recall something that you were grateful for,
wow,
guarantee it will put a smile back on your face. I guarantee that.
What's the O? So what's the O? Okay,
so just on relationship as well, because I touched on mental health of the world. Now here in the UK, there's worldwide there's something which is called a happiness report, and it looks at countries across the world. And it maps on an annual basis their happiness level, and it's got all different ways of calculating it. Sorry,
was it David Cameron who started that whole thing about happiness, measuring the happiness level of the economy? Was it David? It was
around about his time. It was around about his time, yeah. But this is the whole world do this.
All right, okay.
And so anyway, in 2019, well, the previous year, the UK happiness level was ranked. We were ranked 13th in the entire world as a country.
Okay. Is that bad?
Well, let me go on to this. That's good. That's okay.
Okay.
In a year, our happiness level, our happiness in the country as a country, dropped to 19, and that is huge. That is a huge drop, and that's because of the pandemic.
Wow.
That's because, and the main reason is because people's mental health has not been where we would have liked it to have been. So there's a lot that we need to do. To increase well-being again.
So when when happiness levels fall or drop significantly, it has an immediate effect on our mental health.
Yeah, it does. It really does affect our mental health. When our happiness drops, we become more stressful, we become more anxious, fear sets in. There's so many things. Our productivity levels that decline. So for me, I want to increase people's happiness levels. I want to increase productivity. You know, when we look at the economy, yes, we want to build back up our economy, but how are we going to build it up if the workforce
is true.
low? We need to build up the workforce. We need to build up organisations, and that's what I do. I'll go into organisations and I want to increase the happiness level, that increase the well-being of their employees.
Wow.
So you've got another question there.
Yeah. Why did well-being become your focus? Why?
Okay, so I'm answering various questions here. Do you want me to answer this one or continue with?
Okay, finish that one, then jump on this one. Yeah.
Okay, I will do. So leave that one up on the screen. So okay, so we've done. I'm on the fourth one, I believe.
Yeah, you're
so
now.
ownership.
Mental health. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, ownership. So we need to own. We need to take ownership and responsibility of ourselves. We really, really do. For me, happiness is a choice. We need to choose, and we can choose to be happy. But we don't need to, it's not relying on somebody else to make us happy. Nobody, absolutely nobody can do it for you. It's your
Nobody can make you happy.
No, they can't. They honestly, they can't. As I said, it's inside of you. You're in control. You're in control. So you need to take ownership of the control that you have. I can say that, or, you know, I could say that, sorry, I keep going off on different ways, but this is relevant. There was a study done on people who had won the lottery. Wow. It's a well-known study. People who have won the lottery, and we think that becoming successful, or by somebody giving us something that will make us happy. So, you know, they won the lottery, millions of pounds, and yeah, you know, their happiness level, their happiness level increased for a period. It was also measured with people who had accidents, and they became paralysed as a result of that accident. And yet their happiness level dropped for a period. But however, after about a year, the people who won the lottery, the happiness level, after about a year, you know, after that, you know, euphoric, yes, they've won and they were celebrating, they came back to whatever happiness level they were before they won the lottery. The people who had the accidents, they came back up to whatever happiness level they had. So I'm saying that to say that happiness is not dependent on somebody else. It's within you. It's not dependent on what you get. It's within you.
I might be showing my age here, but around about 20 years ago, there was a specific story of a young man who won, I think he won about 10 million pounds on the lottery. 10 million pounds on the lottery. And he bought a house somewhere in the UK, and he had his mates round, and they drove go-karts day in and day and night. The residents complained to the police. And do you realize within 12 months, that young man was on the dole? He was totally broke after winning 10 million pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that's what happens. It really does happen. You know, there's also, when we look at major celebrities and we look at them, we think, oh my goodness, they've got so much, they've got millions, some have got billions. But are they truly happy?
Hey.
There's so many celebrities that we're aware of.
We think they're happy. We think because they show us all the things they have.
So we think
it's the toys.
Yeah, they show us all the things that they have, but however, you know, I wonder, because we do hear of, you know, some who, you know, take their own lives. We do hear of some who, you know, go on drugs. We do hear that. Is that the result of somebody who's happy?
No, challenges. Yes, human challenges.
It is. Yes. So success does not bring you happiness, but happiness can bring you success.
It magnifies what's inside of you.
As I said, success does not bring you happiness.
Yeah.
It's happiness that can bring you success.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, so
you've just done ownership now. We've got W and T and H to do, and we've got that question on there to say, why did well-being become your focus?
I'll speed up. Okay, I'll speed up. So Okay, so when I look at W,
Yeah.
it's watching and appreciating. It's appreciating what you actually have. Watch
Wow.
what you have and appreciate it. Watch your surroundings and appreciate what you actually have. It's like, you know, the group I met in Tanzania. They had, as I said, they had next to nothing.
Hey.
But they watched what was around them. They watched the people around them. They watched the people who were still in their community, and they appreciated them so much. Now look at what we have here. You know, look at what we have here. You know what? There's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and there's a basic level of needs. And the basic level of needs, we need water, we need food, so we need nutrition. We need warmth. Yeah, it's survival. And we need sleep. Now we've got that. We have, you know, we've got all of that. So it's a case. Yeah. But the thing is, that's your baseline. You have that. And if you've got that, there are ways of increasing your happiness level. Really, really. Wow. So anyway, so it's appreciate what you have. The thoughts, T for thoughts. I've touched on thoughts anyway. I've touched on thoughts. You can rewire your brain by having positive thoughts. And I'm just
rewire your brain.
Yeah, rewire your brain by having the positive thoughts in your mind. And also, there are some beliefs that we have. We have belief systems that trigger our thoughts, and some of them can trigger negative thoughts. And some of them, let me just think of one. I'm just trying to think off the top of my brain of one of our beliefs. Oh, pain without no gain without pain. Some people really do believe
without
that.
Pain.
No gain. That's that's we were brought up on that. We were taught no gain without pain. But however, it's a case of, is that true? And I look at that, and if you really look at that, no gain without pain, it's not true, because you can still gain things without having the pain. You can still grow without having that pain. You don't have to have pain. So some people say, oh, relationships are hard work. It's not true. Not all relationships are hard work.
But people are delving into their own personal circumstance and making generalizations.
Yeah, it is. There are generalizations, but that's a generalization, but it's not necessarily true.
Wow.
It is. It's not necessarily true. When I was younger, people used to call me shy. I could have carried that label. I've eroded that label. It's a case of, no, I'm not having that label. I don't believe it. I'm not having that label.
You
exactly.
Shy. No way.
Exactly.
No way.
Exactly. But however, I could have carried on with that label.
True.
I could have carried on with that belief. I've removed that belief. So no. So the thing is, it's thoughts. You know, it's what's going on in your mind. And then I'm just, skating over this.
I know. Also, you got one more.
Health. So H for health. And as I touched upon in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, nutrition, we all know that we need nutrition. We need what goes inside of our body literally affects our minds. It affects us. It really does. So this is something that I also need to, sort of help myself with. It's an area that I need to focus on as well. But yeah, nutrition, also exercise as well. That's what I mean about health. Try and be healthy with the food that you intake and also the way that you exercise.
So why did well-being become your focus?
Well-being became my focus because it's a necessity. It is. Especially right now, we need to improve our well-being. As I just said, the UK, we were ranked number 13 in the world as being, the happiest nation. We're now ranked as 19.
Okay,
So
before you jump onto that, Rona, let me just say, if you want to call in and ask Rona a question, call 078 78 677 521. Okay, we're approaching the last minute of the show, and if you want to call in and ask Rona a question, call in on 078 78 677 521. But make sure you're positive. Okay, go ahead, Rona.
Well, that's just it. We have a choice. And through, in all that I do and think, I think that whatever I do, as I said, I take ownership. I've chosen to do certain things in my life. I am where I am because of my choices. I mean, okay, I've had people speak into my life and I'm grateful. I am grateful that I've come across such amazing people in my life. I'm so grateful for the mentors that I've had, for, my Bishop Wayne Malcolm, who is, awesome. He's fed so much into my life, but, to my pastor, to my parents, to various coaches that I've had. I'm so grateful, but it's my choice. I choose whether or not I listen. I was speaking to somebody yesterday, a wonderful lady called Mage, and she works for Compassion. She was just, leading a devotion, and she said that, and I'll just this is what it's her, something that she did, and she said that if you just do this and you put your hands behind your ears, because we've got ears to listen. We do. We have ears to listen. God gave us ears so that we could listen. That's what we need to do. And then she just put them together. It's a heart. That forms a heart.
Who would have thought of that?
I know. But the thing is, we can do and think of so many positive things. And when she did that, I just thought, that is wonderful. By listening to people, because some people just want to be listened to. People want this. This is an amazing platform. Because you allow people to get their story out. You allow people to get their message out. And my message is, no matter what you do try and, choose to be happy, no matter what your circumstances.
And this brings me into the next question, which I think is really fitting. Would you do anything else, or are you walking in your purpose?
Oh, wow, would I do anything else, or am I walking in my purpose? I believe I am walking in my purpose. As I said, when you look at a pie chart of your happiness, there's an element of that which is your genes, which can be, some people say that it can be changed. Now, I love where I've come from. I love my background. I am delighted that my genes come from my parents, and my dad was the most jovial person I've ever come across. So the fact that I've got genes from him, jovial, happiness, the very fact that my behaviors, that I actually do, behaviors, I've got habits of happiness. I'm in my purpose. I am walking in my purpose. But also there are other things that I do which relate to well-being, which relate to happiness. I work for Compassion as a partnerships manager, helping other people to be generous, to help others in need. That's all part of well-being, as I said. Within my church as well, what I do within my church, what I do as a person.
And someone has said, we're looking forward to the launch of your gratitude journal.
Oh my goodness.
When is the gratitude journal out? So,
my gratitude journal, okay. Don't know if you can see that.
Hold it to the screen.
Where's the screen? Okay, so that's the back. And this is actually it's not the final, it's a mock-up. I'm just waiting for it to be live on Amazon. And any moment now, you will be able to order it. So if you are struggling with placing an order for it, or if you want it as soon as possible, you can connect with me. You can connect with me if you know me, if you know any of my social media handles, just connect with me, or you can go onto my website, which is Rona. Just to make it clear, there's no H in Rona.
We'll put it up on the end. When we
Yeah,
come to
put
the
it up on
end,
the end.
I'll put up your handles for you. Yes.
Brilliant. That's
Yeah.
excellent. That's
Okay.
great. So the gratitude journal will be coming out any moment now, and yeah, so that's wonderful. There's something else that I just want to tell you that I'm involved in, which, so I've got the gratitude journal, which is going to be published any moment. Okay, and when I say any moment, it's within, it could be today, it could be tomorrow. I'm just waiting. There's also something which is taking place on the 31st of July, and I am involved in I'm involved with 29 other women who have written in an anthology, and it's called Navigating Life. And these are women from all different backgrounds, but they've had to navigate an aspect of their life that was challenging. And they've written in this book, 29 women, there's 2 volumes. There were so many women that we had to split it into 2 volumes. And it's actually launching on the 31st of July. And it's called the Navigating Life Anthology. And we've got amazing authors in there, absolutely amazing authors. It's being published by Divine Flow Publishing, and it's going under the authorship of Claudine Reid, MBE. So you know that it's going to be excellent. You know without a shadow of a doubt that what will be released will be excellent. And the launch is taking place on the 31st of July.
31st of July.
31st of July, yes.
Is there a website for that one?
Right, so it's featured on my social media handles.
Okay,
it's
okay.
Featured
So on,
yeah. Just follow me and you will see it. October, I'm also in another anthology called Letters to My Younger Self, and that's where just words of wisdom. You know, I think about 100 women have written words of wisdom to their younger selves, and that's published by EIV Publishing, and that's going to be phenomenal. So yeah,
man, that sounds like some fantastic projects that you're involved in, man. Wow.
Yeah. You know, I just love it. Absolutely love it.
Your friend Eski has come back and said happiness is absolutely a choice. Our thoughts determine our emotion, and our emotions determine our moods, making them low or high. We are not our thoughts. We observe our thoughts. Hey, you have some really great connections today. And she's come back and said, thank you, Rona. So much positive information. Happiness does increase your overall health and increase your influence with others. Thank you so much.
You know, it really, really does. The thing is, you're a businessman, Alex. You're in the world of business. Who would you rather work with? Would you rather work with somebody who, I don't know, was miserable?
Hey.
You know, who was negative? Who was showing, you know, stress? Or would you rather work with somebody who was positive, who had a real, you know, yes attitude, who had a real yes we can, who was a go-getter?
I may be miserable myself, Rona. What if I'm miserable myself? What happens then?
Well, the thing is, you know what, if you were miserable yourself, I think you'd still prefer for your employees to be really positive. And you know what? Positive people are much more productive. If you just think of something that you enjoy doing, you will be more productive doing something that you enjoy. You'll be more productive when you are happy doing something. If you're miserable about this task that you've got ahead, you're not going to do it to your best ability. You're not going to give it your all. So that's why it's really, really important to, to have people within your organization with a happy can-do attitude. And that's what I do. There's also something that I'm going to set up. And if there's anybody who has, who's in an organization, who's in a business. I'm talking about small organisations, because I want to offer people the opportunity to be part of a pilot scheme that I'm running. And it's a pilot, and I'm going to do it's a lunch and learn. And it's a lunch and learn where I can get to know the organisations, I can get to know the leaders within the organisations, and where they could possibly do with increasing the well-being of their employees. It's just a pilot scheme, and it's literally open to any organisation. I'm just looking at small organisations at the moment.
How can they participate? How can they participate? How do they approach you?
They can approach me again by going onto my website and just leaving me a message on the website, just saying that they are interested in the lunch and learn. Just go onto the website, leave me a message, or email me, or if they're aware, just contact me in any way. They can also email. I don't know if you got that there. They can email Rona at RonaAnderson.com.
Rona at RonaAnderson.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember that, guys? Rona at RonaAnderson.com. Wow.
And it's going to be an amazing session. We will just, look at, what their needs are, because it's a service that I will be providing. And I don't want to provide a service if there isn't the need. Yes. And I think that we all, as I said, we're all individual. Each organisation will have their own individual needs. I want to help the organisations to identify where they can improve the well-being of their employees.
And it's so fitting. We're coming back to lockdown in July, so it's so fitting to be able to do this. Is there a deadline attached to this?
The deadline, I would say, is, just connect with me. Just connect with me. Ideally, do it today. There's no time like the present. Do it today. If you can't do it today, the end of next week. I know that this is going to be recorded. If you're not on this live and you're listening to the recording, when you hear this in the recording, make
replay.
I'm not going anywhere, I'm not going anywhere. Just face it, where am I going to go?
Rona is not going on holiday. She's not disappearing. So contact Rona at RonaAnderson.com.
Yeah, definitely. Or any handle. Okay.
Rona.
There's so much more that I would love to share, but I know that time will not permit.
It's been a delight having you today, Rona. You've had such great feedback, and wow, brilliant interview. Thanks, Rona. You're an amazing happiness coach, Rona. Wow. Make contact with Rona. Yes, on LinkedIn, Rona Anderson. RonaAnderson.com and Rona at RonaAnderson.com on our email. Guys, this is an amazing time we spent today just talking about happiness, talking about G growth, which is your formula. G growth, gratitude, generosity, relationships, ownership, watching, appreciating, thoughts, health, and your nutrition. These are the things you need to focus on. Guys, it's been an amazing time with Rona. And if you want to make contact with Rona, as I said again, please contact her on her page in LinkedIn, on Instagram as well, and at RonaAnderson.com. And the comments are just coming through. Rona, congratulations on being one of the authors in the Navigating Life Anthology. Can't wait to get my copy. Wow. I'm probably going to get a copy as well. And I'm feeling jealous now. I'm going to make sure I get a copy of that book as well, Rona.
The thing is, the launch is taking place on the 31st of July. And I've just put a message out to the organizer of the launch to see if men are also able to join the launch. And I'm hoping that the answer is yes, because the thing is, it's a great book I mean, all of the women are, all of the authors are women, but it's an amazing, excellent book for men also. You'll get, oh my goodness, you'll get to read all of the secrets of the women. Oh my gosh.
Woo, woo.
Also, if there's a woman in your life, it could be your partner, your daughter, your friend, your colleague, you know, whoever. That would be an excellent book for them. Also, that book will also be available on my website to purchase. It will be available within the next couple of weeks, and you can purchase that directly from me. So, yeah.
Okay,
And
Rona,
any of the other 29 other women who are on there as well, because honestly, it's an amazing book.
So, Rona, I often say this to my guests. In giving the last word, what would they have to say? And sometimes when I ask them for the last word, it becomes the last chapter. It becomes the last essay, right? So let's just keep this to a few words, Rona. What would you want to say to the audience as is watching you today, been listening for the past hour, and digesting everything you've said about happiness, about increasing your happiness, and about the, you know, what happens to us? What would you want to say to these people today?
I've got 3 words, and then I might go on a little bit, but 3 main words.
Okay.
Sorry, it's 4. Sorry.
Let me just give you total. Let me give you total screen so we can just see you, right? So you got 3 words.
4 words, actually. Sorry.
Okay, 4 words. 4 words. Go on.
Choose to be happy. Straightforward. Choose to be happy, because happiness is a choice. You know, just take control of your life. Literally take control of your life, and, you know, have that choice and choose to be happy. So that's my 4 words. There's something else that I would like to say, and which I think is really key and can really help anybody who just wants to improve that happiness level, is write things down that you are grateful for. You may choose to use a little plug here. You may choose to use my gratitude journal, or you may not. You know, the thing is, I'm more interested in you. As I said, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to increase happiness level. I'm also on a mission to increase the happiness level of here in the UK, but also around the world.
Okay, hold the book up so we can take a photo. Yeah, hold the book up so we can take a photo of the book. Yes, hold the book up. We get a photo session at the same time. Yes, hold it a bit close. Come a bit closer to the camera. Yes, wonderful, wonderful, amazing.
And that's just the back. That's the back as well. If you want to see the back.
Okay, 1 minute. Let's just get a picture as well of the author. Yes, with the book. Wonderful, great. Wonderful.
So what I am saying is even if you just write it down on your notepad, wherever, I'd love you to use my gratitude journal, but if not, you know, just write 3 things down a day that you are truly grateful for. It will make such a difference in your life. Just over time, it will make a real difference in your life. Also, one more thing is do something that you truly enjoy doing. Literally. It's about you. As I said, happiness is inside of you. Release that happiness. It's there. You know, it's not something that I can create in you. It's not something that anybody else can create in you. It's inside of you.
Rona says, release the happiness inside of you. Choose to be happy and release it inside of you. My, we have just spent the last... Well, I was going to say 45 minutes, but this is not 45 minutes. It's an amazing interview, Rona. Okay, what was the last word you want to give, Rona? Go on. You know,
sorry, I meant to say, there was a question earlier on that was what triggered your happiness. So with me, it was being my authentic self. Literally, when I finally got to be me, you know, being my authentic self. So I just want people to be their authentic selves. there was a time when I had a conversation with somebody, and each time I met this person, they would say to me, "Oh, well, why are you so happy?" I'm thinking, well, why not? And I'm thinking of reasons. I think, well, the sun's shining. Let's see, why are you so happy? And I'd be thinking,
that's another interview in itself, to be how to be your authentic self. Yes, that's another interview. How to be your authentic self.
Is it be you?
Yes.
No matter what you are like, just be. Don't allow anybody to hold you back. Don't allow anybody to speak anything negative into your life. Be the person that you want to be. Be you.
Wow, Rona, thank you so much for tuning in to Rona today. It's been an amazing session today, guys, and we thank you so much. Let's just go to the end of the show.
Miss the show. You got to be on this show.